All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and now it is time to go and try to tackle the Neatcode roadmap. So let me make myself a little bit smaller. Here I am. And I've completed some problems, but we're going to reset this and let's see. Does it hold up? Never mind. We're not going to reset it. We'll just go with what we have. Okay, so valid Sudoku. So let's just try this one. Oh, apparently I've already tried this one. I am going to just not look at it and do reset. There we go, right? Cool. So let's try to do this one. You are given a 9x9 Sudoku board. A Sudoku board is valid if the following rules are followed. Each row must contain the digits 1 through 9 without duplicates, okay? Each column must contain digits 1 through 9 without duplicates. Okay, well, this is just normal Sudoku. Okay, each box contains 1 through 9, no duplicates. Return true if the Sudoku board is valid, otherwise return false. Okay. Note the board does not need to be full or solvable. Okay, so it doesn't need to be solvable. It just needs to be valid at that time. Okay. So I don't need to check. Like, for example, we could have 1, 2, 3. Let's just say 1, 2, 3. No number here. Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a 4 would have to go here. But then there's a 4 here, which means actually this would not be solvable. But that's not what we're wondering. We're wondering, like, so even if I had this row all filled out except for this number right here, and it was forced that this number was going to have to be a 4, and there's a 4 right there, that's actually still valid because it didn't break one of those 3 rules yet. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm trying to think, we're given the input board. I noticed that this is like strings, not integers right there, but okay. And then a dot represents that it's unfilled. Okay. All right, so how am I thinking about doing this? Well, I mean, the brute force method would just be to have you would loop through it here, 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 all the way, right? You would do a for loop to go through all of those rows. And for each row, you would add to a set and see if it's in scene, okay? And then same thing for here. You would go through each of the columns and see if it's in scene, okay? And then you would do the same thing for each of the blocks. Is there a more optimal solution? Well, if you're iterating over each of the inputs 3 times, that's actually still O of n. So it might actually be kind of valid. So let me just see if we can figure out how to do this that way. So let's see. Scene is going to be equal to a set. Okay. So for element in okay, so we need to iterate through each of the rows. Okay, so I want to go and do what is it called? I'm kind of in the way. Okay, so board. And I want to get the board, and this is going to be the row, right? Okay. So this is going to give us row by row. So it's going to give me this right here. Okay. But I also need to keep track of the column as well. So then I can do for element in row, okay, enumerate row, and then enumerate should give me, I don't know if it's the index first or the element. Something like this, okay. And then what I can do is, so I will have the first column maybe I can say scene row is equal to an empty set. Each row we will add a new one, okay? I see why this is more difficult than I thought. Okay, so add a new one here, and then do I just need to create like 10 column rows? Or column sets? Well, let me not think about columns right now. Let me just go for, right now I only care about the row. So element in row. Okay, so I'm going to, number is equal to int of element, okay? Now I'm going to say if element is equal to this dot, then we continue, because we don't do anything and we don't want to run this. Otherwise, we try to evaluate it to a number. Okay. And then after we do that, we can say if number in scene return false. Okay. And now each row we want to do a new scene. So scene is equal to set an empty set. Okay. And then otherwise, scene dot add number like this. Okay. So now we want to check columns, and this was check rows. Okay. All right, so now we want to check columns. So how am I going to do this? I also realized I need to plug in. My battery has fallen a little bit. Okay, so this is kind of the fun part, I guess. Well, I think that there's going to be two fun parts. The first one is columns, but then we're also going to have to work with the boxes. That's going to be another interesting one. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're going to worry about trying to get the columns, and then maybe we'll be inspired. How about that? We're going to be inspired. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to take my jacket off too. So I know that I'm going to have to do a for loop, okay? So for row in board. Now, obviously, I'm not right now trying to condense everything to be completely optimized, right? I see that I kind of redid code here, and obviously that kind of indicates to me that, yeah, I could put it together, but I'm just trying to get the answer right now. So for row in board, okay, so now I'm only looking at the columns. My question that I'm thinking is, do I need 10 columns? I mean 10 column sets. So like scene column 1, scene column 2, scene column 3, etc. Okay, so what would it mean if I did have that? What I would do is something like for element in row, and then I would have that index, okay, like this, and enumerate like this. Okay, I would have something like that. And then I would need to, based off of the index in the row, that gives me my column. So index is equal to column. So now I could do so what I'm thinking right now is how do you index a set? Okay, let's say that I had 10 sets, and each set corresponds to one of the columns. Okay. And let's say we're on column number 1 or 0. Okay. How do you index that? You can't. You can't say, unless you have a long if-else statement, if index equals 0, look at scene set 0, something like that. Which kind of puts in my head that maybe I want something like a hash table, where I have 10 rows, and based off of that, I see if it is in that, if I've already seen it in that row. Now, the numbers that we're dealing with are kind of small because there's going to be 10 columns, and at most each column can have 9 elements in it. So that's not too unreasonable. So possibly we could use a dictionary. So let's see, the way that I would do that is, okay, it would be something like this. My dict equals default dict, and what are we going to be storing in here? Integers. Okay. So now I can say I can't do if element in, I don't believe this will work. And the reason is there's two things wrong with this. And then obviously we would need the if element is equal to dot, then we continue. Otherwise we do number is equal to int of element. Okay, so, and then this would need to be number. But I don't think this is going to work. And the reason why, I think that there's going to be two problems with this. Number one, I'm indexing on my dictionary on something that might not exist. So we're probably going on a element that doesn't exist. And I don't know if default dict's functionality throws an error if this occurs, or if it returns null. If it returns null, that's good. That's what we want. So I also don't know if this is kind of if we can use the in keyword. So this is something that I will ask Copilot, because And I'm going to make sure that I say don't give me the answer to the question, just tell me if it works. So 2 questions. Actually 3 questions. Questions. Okay. Number 1 is am I using enumerate correctly? Okay. Number 2 is going to be for default dict, if I attempt to check an index that does not exist, will I get an error or get null? Okay. 3 is, can I use the in keyword to check all items in my dict for that index? And then I'm going to say don't, I meant to say don't give me the answer, but my pinky slipped and I pressed enter. Hopefully it doesn't actually give me the answer. Okay, so yes, enumerate is correct, index element. Okay. So it is index first and element after. Awesome. You won't get an error, and you definitely won't get none either. Automatically initializes any. Okay, so if index doesn't exist and create that key, so okay. Hold on, actually, we're not storing ints. We're storing arrays of ints, right? Okay, so can you use in to check if a number, not quite, okay. I just realized that I am not going to be storing ints in my dictionary. I will be storing arrays of ints. Okay. So, okay, we do list right there. Okay, so this is now going to be list, and we can do append. And you can check if a number already exists in it. Okay, so I think we're on the right track. I think it's okay. So now I can do, if it's in the dictionary already, we return false. Otherwise, we do my dict dot append that my dict indexed at index, okay, and we append number. Okay. And all right. So now we need to check boxes. So what is a box going to be? It's going to be 3 by 3. So I can do index moduloed by 3. And I'm going to get either quadrant 0, 1, or 2. And then I can do its column row moduloed by 3, and I'll get 0, 1, and 2. And that will give me a pair of numbers, which is my row, or my box row, my box column. And then based off of that, I can target. So I'll need maybe scene 0 is equal to set like this, scene. I don't know if this is the optimal way to do it, but this is the way that I'm thinking about doing it. Like this is a set, okay? Now I do another for loop. So for row in board, okay? And this does need to be enumerate. So I am going to enumerate like this. And we will go like this, and it is index first, so that's something I need to remember, index. So I'm going to say row index, okay, and row, awesome. So now box row is equal to row index moduloed by 3, okay? And this is not C. Okay, so now what do? We now need to go through the columns. Okay, so for element in row, okay? And we need to enumerate this as well. So enumerate like this, and I'll just do row right there. Okay. Index comes first, and this is going to be column index. Okay. So now I want to find box column is going to be equal to column index modulo 3, okay? Now I want to put it in one of those boxes, right? Well, first off, I want to say if element is equal to that dot, then we will continue, okay? Otherwise, we change it to an int, so number is equal to int of element, okay? And now we want to find, do we put in, oh, actually there's going to be, what, 9 of them? Yeah. Ugh. Okay, this definitely does not feel right. So 0. Let me just 0, 1, 2, and then we'll need 3. Actually, I'm gonna go like that and go. That's 3 right there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this definitely does not feel right. What I can do now is say if row index, or box row is equal to 0 and box column is equal to 0, then we check if number in scene 0 return false, otherwise scene 0 dot add number. Okay, and then we're going to need to do this. Guess how many times? 9 times. Okay, and I will delete these right now so that we can copy and paste all this. Okay. All right, so come here. So that's number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. This is number 4. This is number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Okay. Did I start at 1 or 0? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need one more. Okay. Awesome. So now if it is, well, okay, so scene 8, scene 8, scene 7, scene 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Great. So we missed something. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we do need 9. Okay, so fine. So this will be scene 0, and this will be scene 0. Okay, so now if this is equal to 0 and this is also equal to 0, then we put it for scene 0. What is box number 2 going to correlate to? That is row of 0, column of 1. This one is going to be row of 0, column of 2. This one is going to be row of 1, column of 0. Okay, so this one is going to be 1, and this is going to be 2, and this is going to be 1, or this one, that one's going to be 0. This one is going to be 1. This one is going to be 2. And what the heck is going on there? 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. We'll deal with you later. I don't know. Because there's 9 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 3 times 3. Okay. 1, 1, 1, and then this is going to be 2, 2, 2. Okay. That's for scene 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we are. That's what's going on. 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now things are starting to make a little bit more sense. So this one is actually 4, and that's going to mess up all of those. Awesome. Well, it will be easier to change it here. Okay. 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4. Okay. And then we will go and return true. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we get an error first. Wrong answer. All right. So apparently it just erroneously finds falses. In row check. This one is, I'll just note that if I don't see a print, it is in the box. Okay. All right, so it's somewhere in the box one. Did I get it here? Oh, console? No. Seeing if I did anything dumb. So check those 222 111 000. Okay. Well, let's just go here. What did I do wrong? All right. Let's see what I did wrong. You're trying to assign each cell to one of the 9 boxes using this, but this only gives you a value of 0 to 2. Yeah, that's exactly what happens, which repeats every 3 rows and columns. Yes. What? You need to compute a unique box index from 0 to 8. So row is going to be a list from, and it's going to have 0 to 9. which that 0 is going to track with the column. Oh, I'm dumb. I see. Yeah, that's kind of dumb. That's really dumb of what I did. So modulo doesn't. Okay. Wow. Yeah. What is 1 modulo 3? It's 1. It doesn't map it to the. It doesn't. I'm trying to do integer division actually. So it's what, like that. So this will map it to 1, or from 0, 1, and 2. And this will also map it from 0, 1, and 2. Now they're doing a interesting other equation. They're doing box index. So they're doing this, which is going to, let's see, give the row that it's in. They multiply it by 3 for some reason, okay. And then they add the because row, there's 3. So like, for example, if the row is 5, or if the row is 1, that's the middle one here, right? That's this one here. So let's say that row, it comes out to be this one. Then this is actually the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th row. So it's going to be 3. So we'll get 1, multiply it by 3. So we're on box 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, okay. And then column is going to be 0, so we just add the column. Okay. So I think I see what they're doing there. How would I do this? So let's say we get 9. Say I'm on this box, right? So row index, let's say I'm right here, is going to be all the way down. It's going to be right here, and that is going to be 9. So 9 integer division 3 is going to be 3. Or 2. All of those are going to be 0. This is going to be 1. This is going to be 2. Okay, fine. So 2. And then likewise this way, it's going to be the 9th one. So 9 integer division 3 should be, or would it wrap around at that? Well, let me just try run. Okay. Okay, well, it was accepted, but I don't want to just end the video right now. So I need to make some notes about what I was stumbling with. So let's see. First one was the enumerate. So enumerate, so index and element in enumerate. And then what was it, like list. Okay, that was one thing that I stumbled with. What was another thing that I stumbled with? Integer division and modulo. Okay, integer division and modulo. Okay, that was another one. And now I actually want to look at the solution because I don't feel like this was a good one right there. Okay. So we are looking at Python. And how is he doing it? So row in range, and he has seen. So he's doing 3 for loops, just like I did, okay? And then in range 9, okay? Yep. And so he's not enumerating, he's just getting the index and then getting it based off of the row number. Okay. And then column should be fairly similar, okay? And now this one is what I'm kind of interested to see how he did. So for square in range 9, okay? So we have square, and we're going 1 through 9. And then he has a scene set. And then for I in range 3. Okay, so he's counting 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3 again. We're taking the square that we want, and there's 9 of them. So we're isolating one square at a time. Let's just look at square 0, right? So 0, integer division 3 is going to be 0, multiplied by 3 is still going to be 0, plus this I, which is kind of the column, I think it was. Wait, no, it says it's row. Square is going to be here with the modulo. Times 3 plus j, okay? This is fine. Okay, so what he's doing is he is targeting which row he wants to look at, okay? Or targeting which box. So I need to think more about this equation. The row is equal to square integer division by 3 multiplied by 3 plus I, and column is equal to square modulo 3 and then multiplied by 3 plus j. So I need to think about that more, try to convince myself of it. Okay, let's move on to the hash set. Okay. Bit masking, I'm not even going to look at bit masking. Okay, so let's think about how we could have done a hash set. So we have columns, we have rows, and we have squares, and this is, all of them are default dictionaries, okay? Now I say for row in range 1 through 9, for column in range 1 through 9, okay? Get this like that so it's easier to read. If it is a dot, we just continue. Sure. Now, if board of row column in this default dictionary for rows of that row, or the element is in the column, then we return false. Now the other case is that row and, or in that element indexed as square row integer division 3, column integer division 3. So we're just isolating, just like what I did here, okay? And we're passing that as we're indexing on that tuple. Okay. So if this tuple exists, then we return false. Okay. Then column, then we add it in there. Interesting. Okay, so what do you guys think? We come back up to here, we come into here, and we clear our answer. And we do it again. Okay, let's do that. So, all right. So now I want to create a default dictionary for rows is equal to default dict, and I think we said that we were going to have a set in there. Do we have to initialize it or just set? I don't know. Columns is and square is equal to, squares is equal to default dict set, like this. Okay. Now I want to go through each of the rows and each of the columns. So for row in range and then 9, because we're going to go to 9 in the rows, and then for C in range 9, that. Okay, now I want to find all of the cases that it's false. So if board indexed at row column is equal to that little dot character, then we just continue. Okay, otherwise we need to convert it to a number. Number is I actually don't remember him converting it to a number. I'm not sure if we need to do this, but I don't think it will fail. So now what do I need to do? I need to because I'm going to be adding just a string. Again, we are not in C. So if board of, this is going to be just annoying to type. Maybe it would have been easier just to do number, actually. So like this. If this is in my rows indexed at R, okay, this, say, or in columns indexed at C, or does that need to be tabbed over? Or this is in square, okay, indexed at, and we're doing a tuple, right? And we need to find the row. So the row is going to be row divided by 3 and, or sorry, it is going to be R divided by 3, column divided by 3. Okay. If any of those are true, then we return false. Otherwise, we need to add it to each of those. So I will do it will be rows of R dot add, like that, columns of C dot add, and square indexed at, and this is where we need the tuple, right? And it is going to be R integer division 3, C integer division 3, okay, dot add, and we add that, okay. Now if we exit out of this for loop, we return true. Let's see if that works. No. Squares not defined. Squares. Okay. Squares. Let's rerun that. Yes. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Let's go to the next problem. So I'm gonna leave this video off right here, and I will be back in like a few minutes, and we are going to continue with the journey. And yeah, so if you are interested, subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you around, and yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to hit them as fast as I can. I'm gonna be on a roll today, so thank you for watching the video. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and goodbye.